we get intelligence from Professor Bakima, the Minister of Higher Education, say some illicit mining they go on Nimiyama Chiefdom. So on Sunday, we go there, on we way back to Freetown, we go there, we meet Professor Bakima.
Yeah, Mr. Ma.
Yeah, Mr. Fo.
Minister.
Yeah, Mr. Fo.
Yeah, you're still at work.
Hello?
Yeah, you're still at work.
Me and George Taylor?
Yes.
If me and talk? Yes, me and talk, yes. Me and talk every day. We need to.
The seller, why not also cover the whole at Commercial Bank? If it was sold to about 800 people. Those are areas where I think say will not really come through. We think happen to the scholarship money we come in, wholesale. We think happen to the ticket sales we come in, and we will also understand say the plane we can go people in Saudi Arabia last year was a donation from Turkey.
I'm pleased to present to you the comprehensive report of the governance transition team for your kind consideration and action. We found that at the time of assuming office as president on the 4th of April 2018, Sierra Leone was in a state of near financial bankruptcy.
Form of an inquisition, or they already prejudge people them saying that this not happen, this not happen. So I think that one aspect no more I feel saying nothing wrong with the transition report, the methodology, the nuances, the utterances in presenting the report. You know, when you present a report like that, we will begin to threaten and say, all man will go jail.
Whether we are able to conduct a survey like this or not, we will have the following figures. Like for instance, at the pre-primary level, that is from 3 to 5 years, we'll be having about 673,410 students at pre-primary
across
level.
the country.
Across the country. So if we take the teacher pupil ratio as it is as at now, where 45:1 at primary and 20:1 at pre-primary, we'll be having 33,671 teachers.
Number one, the areas that we don't identify, we get the ecology for produce rice in this country. For example, Natomambo and the Bonapui region, where they get over 110,000 hectares ready for production.
Hello, my family of Nakabo. Welcome to Sherix Broadcast Network, the place where we bring Africa, the place where we bring Sierra Leone live to whosoever you there around the globe. Of course, today we get for continue with our usual broadcast. We get for continue for bring news information to you from Sierra Leone, of course, and you know, wherever you are around the globe. Mina Ibrahim Sharif, Namiki always bring the programs into now on behalf of Sherix Broadcast Network, and of course we get for continue that same, you know, pattern today. Today we get for, continue for talk about the 100 days after the SLPP government was officially elected into governance by the people of Sierra Leone. Plenty talks they go on. Of course, the main opposition, All People's Congress, don't condemn the SLPP government that they not achieve nothing inside the 100 days within the power. And of course, the Information and Communications Minister of the SLPP government get for fire back. And so we get for bring then two conversations then to una today. We also get for bring come to una, some of the processes where nominees by the president nominate people then for and serve the government or the country Sierra Leone in various capacities. Waiting at some of the procedures where then they go through for vet them for go able for vet them so that they know say them fit for the position where the president nominates them for. So we'll get for talk about that one day as well. Of course, so we get for also bring come to now one of the people that will be there inside the APC government where in name be too popular with regards to trouble mongering or causing trouble inside the country. We'll get for talk about, we'll get for bring that person back to una. Today for we'll talk about waiting at the recent talks that we don't talk on a radio station at Sierra Leone, and we able for analyze waiting in past record with regards to how they do things then at the country and waiting it don't talk recently. We'll get for bring that one they come to una as well. Of course, we get for also bring come to you the president where he visit the SLPP headquarters, waiting it tell the people in another office there. We get for bring that one they come to now. Of course, when I know say na SLPP now officially elect President Julius Maada Bio as their flag bearer, for the party or the presidential candidate. And so now that make way a contest on behalf of the party. So you go back to that party office there and say something. So we get for bring that one back to una for let una all go see. Right? And then apart from that, we get for show when I waiting statistics Sierra Leone don't say about the national population and housing census we then conducting at the country in 2015. Waiting that counting of the people and households, waiting at the interpretation of their data. We get for bring that one they come to una as well. So plenty things then they will get for bring come to una. So we want for me stick tight as we continue for bring come the programs into now, right? Stick around with us.
At first them say me no liability. They go to the point that say me I like king. Agree, can see we are don't break free. Shine like a sun in a big legacy. No blame me. No papa God in blessing it's me. Oh I say believe me. And not to juju I said that it's me. So when I'm in that dog, nobody no me care for me. Now we don't rise up. Let's still want for make up for do. When I'm in that dog, nobody no be one for see me. Now we don't rise up. They still want for make up for do. I want for tell on the bella, then say then go talk to them time. I want for tell on the rich man, then say I gonna be defender. Let them let them talk, some man they pray for and then begin them with me. Then let them talk, I like what them talk, then they go ever be me. Now I'm saying troubles go come, troubles go cover me, I don't care. I like what them say, I like what them do me, I don't go fair. What's got the by me, I go surely make them. Now that's not me prayer. Oh, once I know, say me life they go on, say I go care. Oh, once I know, say me life they go on, me I no go fair.
Hey girl, say, guy, so why you for hate me? When me papa na heaven elect me. Elect you juju affect me. I dey shine like a star, come embrace me. Yeah, I'm the apple of his eyes. Not try for make I dey cry. Not pulling me out because me papa he always lie. I'm a shining star, nothing can put me down. I'm a shining star, will always be alright.
Troubles go come, troubles go come for me, I no care. I like what they say, I like what they do, me I no go fair. Once got there by me, I go surely make them. Now that's not me prayer. Oh, once I know, say me life they go on, say I go care. Oh, once I know, say me life they go on, me I no go fair. Ababa go live and just to give me fame. And so many people then they complain. I gully. I live my life easy. One day at a time, I go kick my game. Now who that go stop me? When me papa give me bulldozer for bulldozer on me enemy, yeah. Now who that way go stop me? Say, I lift my hands up and thank Jehovah for giving me fame. I lift my hands up and thank him over again. So give me gully, one day at a time, oh. So gully, one day at a time, oh. Troubles go come, troubles go go for me, I no care. I like what they say, I like what they do, me I no go fair. Once got there by me, I go surely make them. Now that's not me prayer. Oh, once I know, say me life they go on, say I go care. Oh, once I know, say me life they go on, me I no go fair.
Yes, of course, trouble go come, trouble go go. Of course, this now Rosie and Macmude. Of course, this now old song, but the reason why we play this song here so now for two reasons. One, this song don't hit the international stage right about this time. It is on Vivo, it is on MTV, it is on other, international musical televisions. The Nippon plan. So Rosie and Macmude, this music don't hit international stage, and so I think we small brothers and sisters in Sierra Leone, they do a very good work with this music. Even though they sing inside Creole, but an American tell me say when I listen keenly to the words and way then they speak Pada music, they say are they able to understand? Well, that is how the Sierra Leonean Creole they like the Nigerian pidgin, the Sierra Leonean Creole, it gets more of English language inside. So possibly when they understand it, once you're able to understand English, if you listen keenly, you go able pick words the inside. So that is what is going on. But this now Rosie and Macmude, life goes on. Life get for go on. No matter who side you day, people then get for like you not the most angel, you not the saint, you not the best person. You go must get adversaries then. You'll get people that will not like you. You'll get people that will hate you. You'll get a gang of people who just don't like you no matter what you do. But life has to go on, you not get for buy into it and they do, because you get for get belief in your God. I know say me not to Christian, but they want they're not Christians, then we go church today. I know say then go don't get messages like those a lot today. So you not get for give power to your enemy, you not get for bend over to your enemy, you get for be strong and you get for move on. As long as you get the belief say you God Almighty get you back. Right? So life goes on. Just like Sierra Leoneans in life, they can go on with them right now. Of course, we know say Sierra Leoneans now the most resilient people on the face of this planet Earth. The Salon people that don't go through plenty suffering. Can you imagine the sufferings where Sierra Leoneans that don't go through up to this time? People that are resilient, people that there was a doctor where I talked to where. And I'll be one doctor who interviewed with Radio Network back, I think about 2 years ago, where it been get for volunteer for going to Sierra Leone for help with the Ebola crisis. If we don't develop one medicine way, na being they call it ozone therapy, where they use them for men Ebola and other things. Them so it go to Sierra Leone. It's a waiting impress them. Now when it can't down along the way, it inside this plane where they go about 16 hours flight. It remember say where they can't down at that place. They meet the people that are all terrible, the people that are devastated. It's about when it can't down along it, you see that the people are so happy, the people are so normal. You don't see any abnormality they go on with the people there. So it became for wonder. I say, how can these people be this resilient? I mean, with all this catastrophe, we don't catch the attention of the world. Where they go on at their country, but then still they act like say everything is normal. They say, I have deep respect for these people. You know? So now so salon people and so with they. You know, like I say, we don't get accustomed to suffering, we don't get accustomed to hardship. So it don't feel like I say a normal thing to we now. So even when they go on, people they behave normally, right? But anyway, now that's yeah, that doctor been say. But you see, life get for go on. You know, as long as you breathe in and breathe out, you get life. Your life get for go on. No matter what circumstances you go through, you get for make sure see your life continue for go on. So Sierra Leoneans, their life they go on, and of course they will get for continue for bring camp to una. You know, anything we pertaining to Sierra Leone, as long as we're able to get them, we'll get for the brand camp to una exclusively in this channel so that una go see what they talk about, right? And so today we get for start with the president, retired Brigadier General Julius Maada Bio, been get for pay a courtesy call on the SLPP headquarters in Sierra Leone. You know, and see they know say Sierra Leone People's Party na Comra Party na so they call them. Comra Party na make them look, I mean the slogan or the mantra na one country, one people. So as long as you're not person we born in Sierra Leone, you know, this party are open to you. It no matter, you know, who say you be done day, it no matter what you be done do na Comra Party, na for all Sierra Leoneans. And so the party was formed on the basis of democracy. And of course, whosoever democracy they may find, but I want to know say there is what we call checks and balances. You know, so checks and balances there. So even the highest authority inside the SLPP can go through that checks and balances. People that can check on them for find out if they do what it's supposed to do. And not like APCO, because you know say APC now, the president automatically now the chairman of the party. And waiting the chairman of APC talking an F court. All that thing where they can talk about NAC, you know, weighing at the highest decision making body inside APC. Oh na lailao, the chairman inside that NAC they na get the final say. You know, and so that is not democracy. So the thing we may not understand is how can either a communism or an autocratic party go operate within a democratic system? That's why I don't understand. You know, I think say some people that way they inside APC or way know about governance, politics, then go able for explain that one day to week for level able for understand. But me not understand because the national constitution for supersede any other constitution of the country. And so if the national constitution is based on democracy, how can we have other political party way not they operate on democracy, right? But anyway, so me family we get for see waiting the president do where he visit the SLPP headquarters and then we'll go analyze them. But now family before we even go further, we want to make this clear to people them that we not just bring videos to una. You know, because of the fact that we are based in the diaspora and that we provide this service to Sierra Leoneans with all over the world, we make sure say things that we don't happen at the country. You know, either we're able to capture them from with sister networks in that country, you know, let's say like AYV TV, you know, or, you know, FM 98.1, Radio Democracy, or capture the kind of information and from them. We're able for brand cam and analyze them properly. So what we do here is to both present the videos to you and analyze those videos. So we're not just kind of present the raw material, we analyze it, and that is what we do here. So you go find out, say, you know, what you do now is if you see with logo, you go see and for say Sherix Broadcasting Network is news, information, and education, or information, education, and entertainment. I don't think that they would do. So Naime could do the analysis. But let us see what the president did at the party headquarters, all right? Stick around.
Chairman, members of the National Executive, District, Regional Chairman, District, Constituency Elders, good afternoon. Woman in here. From time to time, I will come keep company and talk with me. Of the office, someone has sent me not to place where all man can go quickly. But one by one, that office will now work for, all man will enter day and see a day. The opportunity for good aid, I will give you random, you can see and talk to me. Today I talk about what will happen, some of the grumbles then, the reality where they on the ground. Who be starting struggle, a lot of people, they will say, we don't go able. But not to be the strength where God given you, the belief, the audacity, the tenacity, waiting we can call tenacity. Go and say power, and not the left. When they say it's not 10 times, don't go in 10 times. When I say I reckon it's not 10 times, I will go there. Today, we don't reach here. And wait till we see and wait till we don't inherit. Other thing we're proud of. Most of the things they commanded wrong with the GTT, that report they not show nothing. Waiting actually happened, they not show nothing. We just this not to be. Now be exercised for knowing they take over from you. Because we will get a tendency in future for say, now lie in the lie, then we need plenty money. Now waiting no more, not to investigation, waiting the people that they go see at the ground, when they take over, now they just show another report. But that don't tell we say plenty people wrong. Now some man they say, the prices in the go up. The exchange don't go up. The petrol price don't go up. Well, I want for them to have beer and count up the beer. With the doubt research, I will always tell them and say, yes, the talk can go up, can down. Power will win this house. Without it, also, I want for men to get confidence in the team and do it now for that team. Before it switch, it will start at now. Because of the kind work we will know say APC can do. Everything we will talk about the foiler. Now, some man if you get time for handover, they run away straight. Nobody know they run after them. Nobody know they run after them. They don't run away to win this country. So today I just want to make you understand 30 basic things. I've seen some people that they talk, oh, why you let long petrol price go up? We're not make petrol now, no, so if the first way they can say this time I saw the seller, what you will do? What you will be done to do so far? Now for make we be the pay that 2,000 when they don't ask so. Now government be the payer. But we don't reach a time because that's not inside the compass, we're not going to pay that money there. Otherwise, if we say we pay that money, we're not going to get free education. We're not going to see light. Everything will go bad. So we say, no, all shape the 2,000. Instead of government paying the 2,000 per every leak out, fear when they buy, no, all shape that way they invested. And that's not the other way happen though. Guinea, Liberia, like all over the world. And that's really happen. So when they talk, someone not understand and someone want to politicize. I just want to let them know say Salon day na safe hands. It just was trying small before it invested. But it was sure when I say una will be proud of yourself because the leadership we una choose, the leadership we una fight for, the leadership we una be ready for die for. Now good leadership and a good voice in our leader. Now when I get that credit today, we say the leadership we una say for lead this country, we una fight for them, come rain, come shine. Now thanks to have been get and I got direction to make that choice today. So think that we try as small. That is the truth. Now those of me I don't like for women. But at the end, it will be better. Salon will change for the better. They will work day and night. And some of the bad things they already don't do, but they try for player. The bad labor we don't get internationally, people they don't begin to look at Sierra Leone now differently. When they consider we say winner and Yankee state, now they don't begin to change their mind. Plenty people they come for spend the money now. We don't talk say. Hello? We will make sure that the economy better, and also we don't talk say, not to we no more for Sabibu, all man for Sabibu. They will make it not be a privilege for Sabibu. Let all man, poor or rich, get the opportunity for land. Then say APC say, now they will begin for because they make sure say we will not achieve that. When we tell them say, power come September. Power come September. The free education, when we say we can give the poor people in this country, so that we begin them to learn, so that we all go equal, we all will get good opportunity around the world. We can introduce that and begin them to begin go school, they don't pay school fees. And they will begin to eat food in school. After 100 days in power, a lot of people want to evaluate for waiting they don't do. One country, one people. I just want to tell you and say, we were not in a government, and anybody who is 100 days Me not to celebrate and not to even evaluate anybody, especially government. Especially a government when they take over ABC. If I tell them I say, for many say get more to carry that government more to carry. That's what government say for go fail them to carry. It take 1 week. Madam is saying 392 where we get 9 I mean the use. That's the term I say now Anyambi. You get from wrong DNA. Say today, some of the young ministers they not get to back. As I talk to you now, that is how serious. When you see policy, take them to back. Those they know that's inside the drawer. Until the Mukai right there, you get down the home. The only two left, now team will don't matter. Paper. Because we're not keeping equipped with the information. Chairman, members of the National Assembly.
All right, and so my family that now His Excellency President Julius Madabio, retired Brigadier General, of course, of Sierra Leone. It talk na SLPP party office, SLPP party office na Freetown, Sierra Leone, na the headquarters, as just a way of, going back and, trying for let the party members they know say they care about the party, so you go back na the party office, because now that's don't be one of the issues inside the SLPP. The first SLPP way President Ahmad Tijan be the lead, people that be they complain a lot for say it be abandoned the party once it became president of the country and nobody could visit the party office. Then even when you can go abroad for meet with party officials, then most times it is shy away from that. So matter is different from that. It go back to the party office for talk to the party members about everything where we don't go on in governance. And so when I don't hear we don't talk. But some of the key points that we talk about is that it go tell the members then plenty thank you for the election or the elect with the elect them into the position and the government. It thank them for the tenacity where we say then talk say power pass alone for better, right? They say one day time go come where they always vote for them, then go get chance for me to visit State House and for able to see who side they work. He says so the GTT report we don't come out. He say but that report they will come out. Everything where they uncover, we really are the things that will happen. They're not able to include all inside that report, not just the main issues them where they see, neither include inside the report. So meaning that most of the things that with the APC government do under Ernest by Chroma and not inside the GTT report, they're not able to include that because it's so much that they're not able to include all inside it, right? So it talks it's a APC then spoil all things. He say in fact that make way some man they're not even able for wait for me then hand over properly, then begin for run away. We be say nobody run behind then they begin run away come on at the country, right? It says so it share the people then concern when they say prices they don't begin go up, especially petrol. It say but not to salon they make petrol. So the one they make the petrol and then they regulate the prices then. So waiting they don't do waiting government they pay trade as a subsidy for able for make sure say petrol in the country in don't talk say now it want for let the people then make them share that burden there at least for some time. It's because the way they inherit the government they don't mean nothing. Even motorcar for me then drive instead of your motorcar will be the campaign which is a way you become president now that same motorcar will be the drive you not be get motorcar. So in fact even most of the ministers right now they not get motorcar for drive because APC then thief all the motorcar them. And so say things before thing they sweet it get for sour for small. It's a thing get for dragon for small. So let the people then bear, right? It talk about that. It say it go work very hard. And they assure the people then for say Sierra Leone they not a safe hand and that Sierra Leone get for be better. It says so the people that make a good choice in the leadership who they elect. It says so the life for them. But in the assurance say now good leadership they elect and that the leadership they work for them. It says so Sierra Leone be don't get bad name around the world. You know, they be don't call with country IMP people there or IMP government, you know, people they don't trust to. It's say but all the one the people that don't begin to change their mind. That are international people there. You know, so international investors they don't begin to try for invest their money then back in the country. Right? It says so in the talk say the time way in the campaign people that be the talk say oh mother not they able for implement the free education. So in the vow for say under all cost pauper by September the free education get for enroll not get for unfold in the country and that's beginning and get for go land whether you get money you not get money you get for go school you get for acquire education free at least at the primary and secondary level. And of course, beginning also get for the eat na school. So that's a good thing, right? They get for the eat na school. And so now that's now some of the key points then where the president emphasized on inside in report where we're able to get now so today. So I think say the president they do very well with that. The president is doing very well with that, and we're able to applaud them for the kind way they don't they do things them. I feel say because this is what the people we are looking for. The people we are looking for that person they will go come where they go able for where it go come, where it go able for stand by in words. The things that way they talk about, do other things, and then things that they stand by. And that is what, that is what the president is doing at this point. Everything we promise, I think say it depend work according to them promises then they. Right? And so my family, one for me, stick around as we continue for bring the programs to you. Stick around with us.
Yeah, man. Rosé, Mahmoud. Hey, Baba. Once I know say, me let it on. See I know, yeah. Once I know say, me let it go on. See I know, yeah.
At first, them say me no liability. They go to the point and say me I like it. Agree, can see where I don't break free. Addiction like a son in a big legacy. No blame me. No papa God in blessing it is me. Oh, I say believe me. And not to juju I said that it is me. So when I'm in that wrong, nobody no make care for me. Now we don't rise up. They still want for make up for do. When I'm in that wrong, nobody no be one for see me. Now we don't rise up, hey. They still want for make up for do. Hey, I want for tell all the bella then say they go talk to them time. I want for tell all the rich man then say I gonna be defender. Let them talk, some man they pray for and then begin them be me. Let them talk, I like what they talk, they no go ever be me. Now I'm saying troubles go come for me, I don't care. I like what they say, I like what they do, me I don't go fair. Once go there by me, I go surely make them, now that's not me prayer. Oh, once I know say me like
Yes, my family once more. This now Rosie and Mahmoud, specifically, Sierra Leone musical artists and very talented young people that way they do very well for the country. Of course, just like I would tell you now, life goes on. That's the track title. Of course, this music don't go to the international scene right now. They're on Vivo, they're on MTV, they're outside. So BET, of course, so we sisters they don't do very well. Sister and brother they don't do very well. And these are two musical artists them young people that way then they do very well. I just like them music then I like them songs then because then songs then get some meaning inside and when you listen to them songs them you actually get some meaning in there. And so I really appreciate that from them, which they do. Of course, we want them to continue to do that. So this song here don't hit the international scenes right now. So probably we pray to God for me able for or nominate them for International Music Award, right? If that one day happen, it will be so good. And so me family, next one for bring come to a video from Sierra Leone, courtesy of AYV TV, where waiting at the reaction of the All People's Congress, when at the main opposition political party in the country, waiting at the reaction to the 100 days of the SLPP government, where they don't in power since the election, how they react to that, right? Now, before we go to, we actually bring the video to now, make I just share a few, of my own personal opinion about this. Now, when I look at people them, when they talk about governance in Sierra Leone, especially at this point, we just don't come up at APC governance, we inside SLPP governance right now. When I turn around and look at where people they talk about, when they try for discredit the SLPP for say do nothing inside the 100 days, I want for me to give me evidence, me to give me facts, me to give me things that way not based on just hearsay. Things that are tangible, something where you go see, where you go feel, where you touch. Not just tell me, say, oh, this government not do this and not do that because of, baseless, information where they give, right? I mean, looking at where we are coming from, even the last child were able to get sense, they were able to foresee a big difference between the previous government and this government now. There is a big difference between the two. And so it baffles me when people are not trying to recognize that. Now, when you are in opposition, I mean, say, you always get for, talk bad about the sitting government, even when they do good. Because your bigger picture is for let you able for win over the people again so that you can form the next government. But it look like, say, now, this election we passed in 2018, it brings a lot of awareness. A lot of awareness. People they don't learn plenty things the way people they not be know about. They don't know about anything and they now. So it's not go easy for any politician just grab no more now and fool the people there, especially with the presence of social media, with the presence of some of them work here where they do not then kind say. So it's not easy for making just grab now and fool the people then. So I don't know who side that whole thing that they come out. But anyway, APC not talk good, but waiting matter they don't do so far inside the 100 days. So let us see waiting they actually talk about, right? Stick around with us.
Today's edition of the show, upon assessing the ruling governing party, the Sierra Leone People's Party, first 100 days in office, the All People's Congress Party has accused the Bio-led government of disgracefully abusing power. The APC party also accused the government of creating a post-election environment that had avoided social economy uncertainty resulting from political intolerance, harassment, intimidation, and violence. APC also says in the 100 days of the administration of President Bill, they are yet to see any improvement in the economy. So this afternoon, to discuss this issue, I have with me in the studio Honorable Ibrahim Tawa-Conte of the ruling SLPP and Honorable Abdul Kagbo of the main opposition party APC. Good afternoon, Honorables, and welcome to the show of this day.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, David.
Oh, okay, I will start off with Honorable Kagbo. Why was this accusation against the ruling SLPP party?
Firstly, we want to congratulate the President for having completed 100 days in office. Quite honestly, it is most unfortunate and disheartening that at this time when we should be debating on the successes and challenges of the President, there is a police press release limiting Sierra Leoneans from discussing on issues affecting the very fabric of our country. To us, we describe that as a means of intimidating the mere Sierra Leonean, or as a means of unfolding to the public that they have not succeeded much, they have not achieved much, and they thought that when Sierra Leoneans are given the opportunity to elaborate on the lapses of the government. It will expose them. You know, it's unfortunate. This has met a lot of resistance from civil society organizations, from Bar Association, from Slpp'S, you know, and from our party. So I want to publicly condemn that press release of the police, that we should not elaborate on some of the challenges of this current government. I want to believe that this current government operates on taxpayers' money. So we have to put our mouth where our money is, you see. And quite honestly, we are so disappointing, you know, that at 100 days in office, you know, there has been a lot of abrogation of our national constitution. There has been a lot of circumvention of procedures, and there have been a lot of abuses, you know, in this country. You know, people have seen what has happened. So as a political party, we want to register our dismay, you know, and we want to make it essentially clear that we who hasn't got what to stand for is not fit to live. So we in the APC are going to seriously debate the successes and limitations of this present government. And secondly, we took a microscopic look at each of the promises made by the president and come out with an analysis as a political party who has provided this country with the prerequisite services this country needed. Firstly, we took an analytical look at the economy. You know, whenever you ask the current government to give an update as to how far they have gone with the economy, they will forget that they are in charge of the business of running the country, and they will begin to castigate the previous government. They will begin to come up with unfounded information to indict the previous government. And I want to make it essentially clear that this government, the APC government, did not leave the worst economy. You know, you would agree with me that since independence, our economy was seriously hit in 1991. 1991, when we had the Rebel War. And the Rebel War contracted our GDP to minus 19%, which was very unprecedented since this country gained independence. So it took this country 8 years to resurrect the economy, the GDP, from minus 19% to 6.65%. 8 good years. You know, and you would agree with me that our country was rated as the fastest growing economy in 2014. Except when we had the Ebola scourge coupled with the declination in price of iron ore. So the twin problem, you know, contracted again the economy to minus 20%, which has never occurred in this country. So this government was, that previous government was being very magnanimous and professional. So within a year, resurrect again the economy to 6.3%, which took the previous government 8 years to achieve. Our government did it in just 1 year. The economy resurrected. And to say we left the economy, the worst economy, it's not correct. You know, that is just a fabrication. So when this government came, we were of the opinion that they will boom the economy as they purported. You know, you would agree with me that lots of noises were made as to how they have put in place fiscal discipline and that they have increased. In fact, it is a disservice for this government to have even collected 300 billion, you know, from internally generated revenue, and they did not even credit the APC government for having created the treasury single account. I will tell you with every fiber of my being, with every proof, that APC government did not only create the treasury single account. What we did first was to do a survey in all government-led banks. APC government did a survey. Quite apart from the survey, we also purchased software and hardware that will create the nexus amongst the government institution, the MDA, the Accountant General's office, and also the central government, to make sure that this thing becomes reality. It is not easy, it is not funny, and we were committed to that. We only did not stop at that. The bill was even sent to Parliament to be enacted into law to show how serious and committed we were. You cannot just come and implement the treasury single account without having gone through all of those processes. So it will never have been possible for this government to have even done that if they had not met our government.
But it's like you guys failed to implement it.
That is
the process.
It was a process. We have begun it. It was going to be implemented. it was going to be implemented.
So how long that could have been?
We would never have, because the
bill was the SLP government came into power in a very short while, and they decided to implement that process.
Of course, they would never have implemented it if we have not gone to the legislative arm of government to enact it into law. You see, so if the bill had not been enacted, it will never have been implemented. So that means we were committed to it. If we were not committed, we were not going to parliament. If we were not committed, we were not going to the due processes. But let me tell you, this government has had the revenue they have collected. According to them, they have collected huge sum of money. According to them, they have instituted fiscal discipline. But it is not even reflective in the economy of our country. You go to Congo market, you will tell me that a good number of people there are not satisfied. People are not okay. There has been an increment in the prices of commodities all over the country. You know, things are not okay. Things are not normal. There has been an increment in the price of fuel also. You see, so if you say you have collected it, let it show. Let it show. Let it show. But it absolutely has not shown in our economy of this country.
All right.
Oh my goodness. Of course, so my family, you see, this is APC at work. And you know, one thing APC good at, then they train the young one, they so sabi talk, right? Okay, so let me look at some of the things the way the young man don't talk about. Let's take them and break them down into rare perspectives, right? Okay. This man don't claim for say, then with the Medina power, inside just 1 year, they don't make the economy don't rise, Sierra Leone don't become one of the strong economies in West Africa. Okay. Now, before we even go to that, let me try to find out first of all, which kind of government way the APC inherits in 2007. In 2007, because Nyanda at the foundation, where somebody don't do a very good job, it don't hand over to you, it don't do a good job and hand over to you, it is easy for you to pick up from whose side it stop and you continue. Because now I make them say government na continuity, right? So in 2007, before the SLPP they hand over to the APC government, they don't left the country with a zero debt. We don't get one great debt. The entire country not get debt. Apart from that, we don't left up to 543 billion leons in, money will be in at the central bank, when I be the reserve money did it, right? Now that SLPP left, now the bank. Then apart from that, where SLPP take over for the entire 11 years we've been in power, they deal with the issues of war. War will be saying that APC even create the reasons for that war they happen because of waiting for the consequences have been talked on March 23rd, 1991. All the reasons where agree to Robin White, where ask him na BBC Focus on Africa as to why a start war na Sierra Leone. The reasons where for the Sankogi na been based on everything where APC will do. So they don't create that war. The war don't kill about 50,000 Sierra Leoneans. 2 million don't displace. SLPP can then take over. Then work on that war, then finish all the things that way the war be done better, then reinstate everything back. When they don't reinstate everything back, all side on peaceful, all man don't get relative peace. And then they don't negotiate with the one they always be don't trust with money, they don't forgive all with debt. So they hand over government to APC with a zero debt. Now, I am baffled as to waiting this young man feel say SLPP government go able to do with the economy inside 100 days. The kind of economy where they inherit from the APC, wherein they talk about billions of dollars in debt. When at debt, would they talk about bank overdrafts? It was something very embarrassing to the world. The whole world they talk say I did watch one video today where they talk say the 20 most corrupt countries in the world, and Sierra Leone happens to be among those countries. We not be ever there for them kind listening, but we did it now. So the kind way SLPP inherits this government from the APC, it will be a disservice. That same word now I don't use. So let me self-use and a disservice to Sierra Leoneans For like any APC person sit on at television, they lie with impunity about waiting and do. When you talk say the economy way we get right now, where SLPP they claim say don't collect a huge amount of money from within the country, but then it is not reflective on the economy in the country. So meaning that people they not get job, people they suffer. How many years will APC taking a power? 10 years. We are not able to create employment for the youths in another country. We form the largest part of the population of the country. We are not able to create jobs for them. So you expect the SLPP for create jobs for the entire youths in the country inside 100 days. Because that's what I'm able to understand from all the talk where me man don't talk. Right? So in as much as the SLPP, they make a leg waiting the president talking at the party office. The president don't go tell people and say, before it's sweet, it get for sour force. And we all know that. Because the kind way where government don't go, the kind way where country go, the kind way where, APC they handle country for 10 years, it get for take years for let this country come back on foot, in right foot. In fact, to me, it's a huge success because we don't see them for say the SLPP, they not only do things, they don't pay workers there without bank overdraft. This is not to foresee now talk no more. This is reality. This is something that they have done. This is tangible. They don't pay people there. They're not going to bank, then go take bank overdraft. Now waiting then collect inside the country. The money then way people that be supposed for pay we. Then money then they don't collect. Now they use for pay. They don't pay all diplomats there abroad. Matter of fact, let me bring come to you the same the 100 days achievement of the current government, because Ubranka last week, let Ubranka come back again because of this guy. Don't talk about this now. The president don't talk again. By September, there is going to be free education for primary and secondary school pupils. They are going to have the opportunity, whether you are rich, you are poor, you are going to have access to free education. And you get for the eat food in a school. Boss get for the care you go to school. You were not able for go to school where you did far. You get for the catch bus for go school. That is coming, right? Now the single treasury account where you talk about saying that APC then start then go to parliament. It was a process, but you never implemented this process. Just like how the road construction where APC they don't claim all over this place for the 10 years when they don't in that power, they say now they don't construct all the roads then at Sierra Leone. Okay, say in 2007 and 2006, before the SLPP they hand over government to the APC, road construction will go on in the country. They will fix road then between Mashaka and Bo. They will fix the Pamalap, highway. They will fix other roads them. But when the APC can when they take over, then claim the credit. They say now they don't do them, right? Now they don't do them. So the single treasury account where me man they talk about, that single treasury account, okay, if now wanna begin them, but not to wanna implement them. The government of Madabi don't come implement them with a single treasury account will get. So all the money they wait and they gather, they go to that one account. And even the one the way me man don't talk nothing is subject to verification. We'll get for verify that one days, before we even talk aloud. Right? They don't bring increase in domestic revenue. Right? We get 24 hours electricity in Western area, and they don't make arrangement for me to provide electricity in all the 194 chiefdoms in the country, throughout the country. So meaning that electricity get for all over the country, right? How about the road construction? Okay, when I don't do na but still areas then they wanna left look like that Boma-Tru highway, the Moyamba Shenge highway, the Kenemazimi highway. These are strong SLPP strongholds. But the APC government then decides say they not get for the president decides say not get for handle inside and they at all, because people they not vote for and they so in not get for fix them roads them. So then roads then we then left now major roads then because the Boma-Tru highway then side and they would get a lot of fish waking come on at their side and they cassava and other produce the way they can inside Bolton where the people then they and they living through then and they. Right, we get the Kenemazimi highway instead of the same thing. We get the Moyamba Shenge highway. This is the same thing. My young girl became attend the Moyamba, the Hartford School for Girls na Moyamba, and that Mabang bridge, that bridge will be in that place. I be afraid for and so much that anytime we they go across that bridge day, to the extent that I not wait a finish in school I get for Poland day, right? So those roads are going to be fixed again. All right, now how about even they don't begin to pay the public sector workers that without any bank overdraft? They're not just going to bank no money and take money. They don't get money for payback. They go into overdraft. That is not happening anymore. They don't pay all the backlog of salaries where they be all paramount chiefs them and lecturers at Nigeria University College. They don't do all the incident day. You know, so these are things where the government don't do, when are tangible things, then when not to things, then where you could just say, oh, this government cannot do better thing. These are tangible things that they have done, you know. So making, I can get problem where they see, you know, people then they, you know, where people then they do things that on sentiment like that, right? So how about even WAEC, the West African Examination Council, you know, we be owe them money, plenty money. SLPP government don't can pay that one day. But first of all, we know say APC nobody ever pay premium to education. So anything when I be education, I don't be care too much about time. Then they say they can't talk about time because the president in your secondary school where you go, plus the minister of education under the APC, Mikhailo, in your secondary school where you go, then secondary school then they are abandoned up to today. Now rotten schools, now SLPP government they can't take care of them schools then they. So education not to be nothing, right? Now SLPP government don't pay all the diplomats they are abroad. They don't abolish registration fees. I mean, even for enter university, people that don't know say when a country educates a young people them, now a very good thing. You know, when you get people then at your country, you provide education for them. You know what they do for your country? You program your country for years ahead. Because then one day when they go to their schools then also, like that will pick away get forget this free education. God help them then continue to university. These are going to be the future leaders of Sierra Leone. So all the good works with SLPP they do right now then get for can make sure say they continue with that good work because the foundation has been laid. So for let person go to university, then get for charge 500,000, 400,000. So if you not get money, like you not get person where they are abroad, we go able to say $100 for you. And like you picking get sense, stay smart, clever. You know they ever able for go university. SLPP government they don't squash that one day and say no. If you don't reach a point where you for go to university, you should not be paying for your registration application. You know for the pay for that and if you just go in. So that is a very good thing that they have done. And also they don't reinstate discipline in government and public sectors. Of course, we all know that one day, right? They don't institute anything in there. And of course, how about agriculture? I've been glad the way they listen to Sam King Drimer way na the the Deputy Minister of Agriculture where they talk about the plan for me to revive or revitalize Tomabo, me then reintroduce some back. Let we begin for produce food where they feed yourself. But Salon we get arable land with population of Boko. Why would they go buy food? Why would they import food all the time? Why would not go produce our own food? So the agriculture ministry, they don't able to get this grant from the US government up to $44 million for many investors into agriculture. And at the same time, they try to get also other resources from within the country where they're able to use them for that. So we are looking at, I mean, I know say APC will come back and say, where they say they go improve our agriculture, we'll go feed you safe. After 100 days, what they don't do with that? Now, you cannot expect anybody to grow food inside 100 days, Like they get for find the money first, they get for prepare the land, they get for do the cultivation, whether it's going to be mechanized and subsistent. And I feel say not to subsistent farming, they get for be mechanized because they are going to use it to also create employment for the young people that will not get job. So you will go work on a farm, at the end of the day, you make some money, and then you come to the way you sit on a free time, we not the green go na farm for go work. We don't see now, you don't can at all, you hold them 500,000 to 700,000 that you earn, where you go the next day, they follow you. That is how they create employment, right? So the SLPP has been able to do all of those things. And also, how about the deal where the SLPP government don't sign for many start a tropical disease research and treatment center? When the Chinese government get for do that one day? That one is so important, it's so necessary now the country that not to play business that one day, because can you imagine where we don't the Ebola don't done our country, and up to today we not get a single hospital where we go refer to as a place where somebody sick or a disease of that magnitude for them again as Sierra Leone will get a place where they go diagnose you, then go able for detect them before it even spread. They go able to detect. We don't have that. So the mere fact that they don't sign this treaty for men start a tropical disease research and treatment center. This is a good thing. This is how leadership of this country is supposed to think. You know, for just think about today, you know, the wealth where they, you know, amass today, where the money where they make for yourself today. But think about, you know, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 years ahead, waiting go happen. How Sierra Leone get for look like? This is how people are supposed to be looking at this country, right? And also, how about the increment on salary? All the one they want in public sector, they don't raise the money small. At least within they get ready, they don't bank out small. You know, we begin to get for the ride inside bus for go school. Of course, now the president even want for start another program wherein if you not get money, you're not person way. You want for go to university, you want for learn certain things like when they open that science and technology university in Akono, you know, when they get for you know, the other universities then at the country, if you don't get money for going to the university, then they like how it happen at first world in America, Britain, Australia, you get some sign out where you go borrow money, you use that money there for pay for your fees, for your tuition, buy your books and all the other financial needs that we need for go to school day. When you don't done, the firm will give you. When you working at that job, you pay that money they back small, and that money the way they pay back now for help the other one the way they come from behind you, because that money they then get for use money back. Oh my God! So how can anybody sit anywhere and talk say, oh, say people lie, they not achieve nothing, they not do nothing? I mean, this some of these things that all they do as Sierra Leoneans now make we country they go bien, because we say true they will not they talk them, will they always lie, will they try for talk the truth at all? So me, I not get patient for people like those where they lie with impunity, and because then they take advantage of the ignorance of the people of Sierra Leone for men and they lie. That's what they keep doing, you know. So the government is coming ahead with that, you know, the student loan scheme, you know, is coming in, which is a good thing where the government is trying to do. You know, so me, I don't get patient for people that way, you know, they lie about things then like that with impunity. They know saying I lie, then they lie, but they don't care anyway, you know, because they just want for continue for lie, let people then continue for believing them, right? No, I don't have any patience for people like those, right? So for me, man, we be the talk just now, a need for understand for say, you know, people then then not only one know this country. I mean, he's saying all these things, but other people have the means of analyzing what you are saying, because not only one they see what you they talk, other people they see them as well. So you get to be mindful of the fact for say what you they talk. All the talk the way you talk, it don't make sense to me at all. You know, they say police they intimidate them because they talk to, okay, they begin for pull that press release, but that press release the Sierra Leone Bar Association begin for counter them. Okay, we understand, say probably, you know, there should be an understanding that why should get you freedom of speech in the country, you for know say the other person way they talk about you have not infringe on your right as well. Anything where you talk during that freedom of speech, make sure say you're accurate so that you not go infringe on this other person in your right as well. That's all the police was saying, I think, you know. And so it talked plenty things there about the economy, how, you know, they reflect on the people there. Well, SFP has just been in power for 100 days. You know, plus. So you're not going to expect them for create jobs for all the people. Up to now, the president they put in government together. Now then this year, they don't even appoint, you know, ambassadors then to some countries there. Now then this year, they don't for talk to the parliamentary committee, don't for question them people, and they will get for going to them countries then they. So the man is still working. Whilst they do all of that, it is still make achievements then at the other side. So give the president some time to do what he's doing, right? So my family want to stick around as we make it possible for you.
Yeah, man. Rosette, Mahmoud. Hey, Baba. Once I know say, me let it go on. See I don't go, yeah. Once I know say, me let it go on. See I don't go, yeah.
At first, them say me no liability. They go to the point, they say me I like king. I great can see we I don't break free. I shine like a sun in a big legacy. No blame me. No papa God in blessing, they ask me. Oh, I say believe me. And not to juju, I said that they ask me. So when I'm in that wrong, nobody no me care for me. Now we don't rise up. They still want for make up for do. When I'm in that wrong, nobody no be want for see me. Now we don't rise up. Hey, they still want for make up for do. Hey, I want for tell on the bella, then say they go talk to them time. I want for tell on the rich man, then say I gonna be defender. Let them let them talk, some man they pray for and then begin them with me. Then let them talk, I like what them talk, they no go ever with me. Now I'm saying, troubles go come, troubles go go on me, I don't care. I like what them say, I like what them do, me I no go fair. Once go there by me, I go surely make them, now that's a me prayer. Oh, once I know, say me life, they go on, say I go.
So why you for hate me? When me papa na heaven elect me. Elect you juju affect me. I dey shine like a star, come embrace me. Yeah, I'm the apple of his eyes. Not try for make I dey cry. Not boil me out because me papa he always lie. I'm a shining star, nothing can put me down. I'm a shining star, will always be alright.
Troubles go come, troubles go go on me, I don't care. I like what they say, I like what they do, me I no go fair. Once go there by me, I go surely make them, now that's not me prayer. Oh, once I know, say me life, they go on, say I go care. Oh, once I know, say me life, they go on, and me I no go fair. I'm a bag of life, and just
Right, ladies and gentlemen, of course, Rosie and Mahmoud, you know, life goes on. Life goes on. So life get for continue for go on as Sierra Leone. We not get for pay attention to people the way they do negatives. We get life has to continue to go on. And so next, me people one for, you know, you remember last week where they talk to now, we bring come to now some people that way the president don't appoint as ambassadors to various countries around the globe, right? And so we just be one for bring camp to una for let una see for una self how you know government can normally go through them procedures. Then you remember we've been here for show you then three people there. So the one on the left now Dr. Solomon Gembe Senior, we na in the nominee for the High Commissioner Nigeria. Now he get for represent Sierra Leone as the Sierra Leonean High Commissioner to Nigeria. I get for be based in Abuja. Of course, the lady in the middle, na Anna Musa, na I get for be in deputy, you know, na Nigeria. Of course, the man on the right, Mr. Safawi Rogers, na I get for be the deputy ambassador to China, na Beijing, and get for day. So two of them people they also be get for go through you know, the normal process of vetting. You know, the parliamentary committee be they vet them for, you know, be they vet them for make sure say, you know, then you know then qualify for better hold them position today, because this is not the normal thing where they can do, you know, for make sure say, you know, the people then qualify for better hold them position in there. And so two of them Dr. Solomon Gembe Senior, the one on the left, and the one on the far right, when Mr. Safawi Rogers, they ought to be able to go through the vetting process. And so one for bring that vetting process to you, for me you go just see, for me know, you know, for say now so you know the things can happen. Just, you know, we get policies and procedures set up in the country. If only we follow them the way we then lay down, trust me, we'll be one of the most advanced countries in the world. If only we follow them. But if we not follow them, then that is a problem, right? And so let's see how Dr. Solomon Gembe went through his. Stick around.
The There comes in the nominee Solomon Gembe, Doctor, High Commissioner to Nigeria. Your Excellency, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Solomon Christopher Gembe.
Good afternoon.
Muslim or Christian?
Christian.
To follow the Bible. When I say I, you give your full names, I repeat after me. I,
Dr. Solomon Momo Christopher Gembe, Senior.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
That the evidence I shall give before this committee.
That the evidence I shall give before this committee.
Shall be the truth.
Shall be the truth.
The whole truth.
The whole truth.
And nothing but the truth.
And nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you. You may receive your seat. You are being recorded on tape. Mr. Chairman, honorable members, your candidates.
Honorable members, we have in front of us Mr. Solomon Christopher Gembe. Any question?
Dr. Gembe, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Where do you live?
Sierra Leone.
What part of Sierra Leone?
Smart farm.
So why didn't you insert it into this form?
Well, that might be an oversight. I can update that. And,
you don't want us to visit your house?
Well, it might not be connected.
And also, you had a lot of cash in hand on the 23rd of July. What were you doing with all that cash in hand? 15 million plus.
Well, you know, I have a land and property here in Freetown, and putting logistics in place to start a project that I now have the opportunity to pursue.
So you want me to believe that between that date and today you've spent all that money on the project?
Well, I think so.
Dr. Gembe, good morning. Dr. Gembe, from what I have been reading here, you were working at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs one time, correct?
Right.
And you abandoned that office to go to the United States.
Did you abandon or not?
Well, gentlemen,
honorable
members, first of all, I want to take this opportunity to go on record that it gives me the greatest privilege and an esteemed honor that I should be sitting here in front of a galaxy of academicians and seasoned politicians. I want to take the opportunity also to thank the HE for the confidence he imposed in me. And I want to thank the audience and all those on social media.
Your deputy minister is...
No, point of order, point of order. Hey, point of order, please. Hold on. Please. You are not addressing the audience, you are addressing us.
Okay.
We are interviewing you.
My apologies. So
go over your reaction.
Okay.
Doctor, you did not abandon your office.
Well, there's the deal. I know he's just joking. So I'm coming. I want to.
I want an answer to my question.
When I left college in 81, with honors in economics, I joined the civil service that same year. I rose to the rank of Assistant Secretary in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I decided to leave. Those were days when people were interdicted for criminal conduct. I left on my own volition to pursue education overseas, and I'm back now to serve my country in other capacities. So, and by the way, I spent some time. I have letters behind my name. So that was the reason why I left my post.
And to come back to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs now to serve as ambassador.
And finally, your honorable members, the guy who is the Director General, Mr. Paul Nina, met me in Foreign Affairs, and when I started my foreign career there, and he's going to be supervising me now. It's paradoxical.
Dr. Gembe, welcome.
Yes, sir.
You hold a PhD.
Yes, sir.
What was your main thesis topic for your PhD?
Well, I did Homeland Security in U.S. My dissertation was on how to mitigate the flow of terrorist money in the banking and financial system. Of course, when I was in U.S., I've been working in the financial system for the longest time. How do you mitigate the threat of terrorist money? We're talking about money laundering, protection of critical infrastructures, our roadways, our bridges, our international waters, which are, in this case, there are a lot of people approaching on our international waters. How do you protect this critical infrastructure which is out there for people to just do things at random?
Excellent. That's why I asked you, because you're going to an important location now, Abuja.
Yes.
Abuja is the capital of West Africa. Some countries don't like us saying that.
Yes,
it is the heavyweight.
Yes.
Where you have to deal with all of these issues. Within ECOWAS, you have to deal with the security along the Gulf of Guinea.
Exactly.
In terms of maritime security and everything else you said. In Abuja, you have to also deal with the flow of terrorist money and also armament.
Yes.
How do you see your homeland security experience helping us deal within the sub-region, but also specifically for our country?
And Dr. Kanayonkela, if you can, please give me permission. Honorable, permission. I stand corrected. Guys have been on for too long. But here's the thing. You, by yourself, you're a subject matter expert in issues related to global analysis, global diplomacy. And in fact, I was watching a documentary on by Professor Apc'S wherein you are showcased as a luminary, a heavyweight in the political scene. And I'm going to encourage my colleagues to really seek counsel from you, because your resources have to be tapped, and I'm going to be seeking counsel from you. Well, as you see in the sub-region, you see Boko Haram, you see terrorist threat, and by the way, I had some colleagues of mine who are interested in building safe cities here, and those logistics are in motion. I'm not talking bad of Liberia, but once you pull out of there seems to be some threats of terrorism there that might come to this country. Our borders are very porous. I mean, these are areas that we have to address. And so when I'll be talking to my colleagues, as you know, I'm going to be your representative there, with your approval, of course. There's no presumption here at the ECOWAS. We'll be talking on those things from a position of strength. I've learned those things. I'm a quick learner. I bring academic, strategic, and operational knowledge. And of course, your interest, really our interest should be, how you call it, economic diplomacy. How we can bring external resources to this country. Okay. I was just kind of stimulating the conversation. Thank
you. That's main man Solo Gambe.
You're here to stimulate us or what?
No, it's just a discussion.
You are going about.
Yeah.
I understand you now.
Yeah, okay. You want us to proceed?
I understand you now.
Oh, thank you.
No, can I ask you now? I understand you now and we file your interview to another day.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Doctor, with all of these good things that you've presented to us that are related to risk management mechanism, you still have two vehicles, two Mercedes-Benz and a Land Rover, without an insurance. What do you have to say about this?
Well, those vehicles are in the US. One belongs to my wife and one myself. The other one is in Texas. You have to have some utility vehicle. And I have to myself.
The fact still remains we are using those vehicles without insurance, according to the document I have before me here.
Well, my honorable member, sir, that was an That was an oversight.
I rest my case.
Yeah, request. Are you a minor? Are you a minor?
A minor?
Yeah.
Well, I used to mine before, and I have interest in mining.
Yeah, you swear. Yeah, Frank man. Congratulations, you can go.
That's my man, Solo Gambe. My man, slow down and come. Shake your man the hand. You man then the rush here. Wait first.
This is the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, so now my man Solo G, of course, that now Dr. Solomon Gembe, very funny man, you know. He entertained the people when they ask and question, of course. And so that is officially, he is now the Sierra Leone High Commissioner to Nigeria. He's going to be based in Abuja. All right, so that is Solomon Gembe. He was a former mortgage manager at Wells Fargo Bank in Dallas, Texas. And now he's going to serve his country. Of course, he's not a new person to this job because if you don't serve in the civil service before, I mean, you don't serve in the foreign affairs, you don't work in other places before they even come abroad. And so he's going back to serve his country. So, you know, that's the man, right? So you go through that one day. And the next person we'll get for can see now, Mr. Safawiya Rogers, where now, you know, how do we call it? Safawiya Rogers in at the deputy ambassador to the Republic of China at Beijing, they get for day. So instead, let's see how in your own confirmation go. Stick around.
Good afternoon, honorable members of Parliament.
Muslim or Christian?
Muslim.
Secular or Quran? When I say I, you give your full name, side. I,
Safawiya Rogers,
do solemnly swear that the evidence I shall give before this committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me Allah. Thank you, you may receive your seat.
We have in front of us the Deputy Ambassador to Sierra Leone Embassy, Beijing, China. So, Safawiya Rogers, I know you people who serve in that capacity. Just convince us what added value, because China is investing in Africa so much, and we have so much about Chinese investment and Chinese products. What added value will you put to ensure that Sierra Leone is protected in terms of trade? Because your ambassador was here and was asked questions. Just tell us what added value you put to ensure that there is a good relationship between China and Sierra Leone.
Honourable members of Parliament, fellow compatriots, first and foremost, I want to thank His Excellency for thinking of nominating me to become the Deputy Ambassador to the People's Republic of China. Against the background that I'm competent in the language, I am competent in the culture, I did my studies here, the Master's as far as PhD. So ladies and gentlemen, we all know that language is very powerful. We all know that language is a tool, wherein two people communicate in the same language, and it's easy for them to do business. So the second point I want to tell you about is, as far as the policies are concerned, I'm also academically inclined because I did international relations and international politics. So in terms of policy, and in terms of, again, trying to get closer and communicate with the people be rest assured that I can continue to make the bridge between China and Sierra Leone.
Mr. Wei, are you aware of the One Belt, One Road strategy of China? How would Sierra Leone benefit from that?
Honorable members of Parliament and my fellow compatriots, I'm quite aware of the One Belt, One Road in China, and being nominated to actually be your deputy ambassador in China, I want to rest assure you that we'll use our ID in order to go and negotiate them, because China has helped us in a lot of ways in terms of even giving scholarship to our fellow compatriots to study there. So we want to make sure that we contrive some of those benefits and bring them to Sierra Leone. So like what is happening in China, we would like the same to happen in Sierra Leone. So in terms of infrastructural development, we have seen that we've gained a lot in these areas in this areas.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Rogers, I'm very proud of you that you are going to China without any language barrier.
Thank you.
But just out of curiosity, leaving behind you a Nissan Jeep without an insurance policy?
Yeah, that's a very good question, and to be very honest, honorable members. So it's an oversight. Okay, and I'll make sure I submit it to the Parliament. Thank you very much.
Mr. Rogers, just in the event that you have booked, congratulations. But again, my colleague here posed the question, and I'm very much interested in that, because I know it is key in Chinese-American relationship. How do you expect, with your knowledge, that we benefit from the One Road, One Belt project? The question was posed, but you spoke about your ability, but you are still to let us know how you will facilitate our benefits.
In the first place, ladies and honorable members of Parliament, the first qualification, the first capability is being approved by this honorable House to be a deputy ambassador. Once that is given to me, that gives me the local standards in order to go and negotiate on your behalf to make sure that Sierra Leone is among the first countries to benefit from that project. Besides, China has helped us from 1971 since we had the Sino-Sierra Leone relationship.
Thank you very much. When you're negotiating, make sure you consult your ambassador. Don't just negotiate alone. That will be in connection with the Foreign Affairs Ministry. We are impressed with your articulation of some of the issues you explained very well. I know you can perform and do the right thing for Sierra Leone. Let's Sierra stand tall in the midst of development, trade, and security. We wish you all the best in anticipation of your approval. And we have been reminding you about the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations in 1961, Article 8, 1, 2, and 3. And this is the process going on. If you have a problem, the club will call you. If we don't call you, we will forward your name for approval. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, honorable. Thank you very much.
Eddie Masali. Eddie Sidiki Masali.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
The majority.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that now Mr. Safar Woya Rogers. Of course, we just don't see him. He don't testify. The parliamentary committee don't vet him for the position of Deputy Ambassador of Sierra Leone to the Republic of China. And at Beijing, they get for base. Of course, Mr. Safar Woya Rogers used to be the Secretary General of the SLPP in North America. Based in Dallas as well. Right now at Dallas is based, but this salon and I know say get for sojourn to China, Beijing for assume responsibility officially. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we want for, backtrack a little bit, go back to the 100 days, because this night, all man they talk about, especially the opposition, they condemn the SLPP, and the SLPP, they fire back. So we begin for see the Minister of Information and Communications under the SLPP government, when Mr. Mohamed Radu Suare, he begin for fire back at the APC for, waiting and talk. I mean, he began for get an exclusive interview na the hot seat na AYV TV. And so, with the brand come to on a courtesy of the AYV TV, on a sister channel, doing so well in Sierra Leone. So, one from Mekuna see that one there as well. Stick around.
Radu Suare, welcome to the hot seat, sir.
Thank you very much, Fonzie. Thank you.
And at the hot seat today,
listeners,
over 100 days where the SLPP-led government of Sierra Leone, that they call the New Direction government, don't take power. We still, they analyze the stewardship of that government's day in 100 days. They pass 100 days, then fail 100 days. You go remember, I say 1 week ago, the government self pulled their own report card, where they call the government scorecard in 100 days. And they even launched a magazine wherein the government catalog all waiting they don't do in 100 days. And by the scorecard, the government grade themselves for say, then pass. They're very much satisfied with 100 days achievements. Just yesterday, the APC, when at the main opposition party in Sierra Leone, called a press conference and said they pulled their own report card. 100 days in office of the ruling SLPP government. You know what the APC say? They say they're not satisfied at all. In fact, they're not see nothing. 100 days. All waiting they see now bad, ugly things now don't happen in President Julius Maada Bio in 100 days. Now that make we get the Minister of Information and Communication tonight for can post her and their questions here so. Because again, when you look at the report card of the APC, they put specific things there we make their things say 100 days in office, the SLPP-led government of Sierra Leone is just a failure. Hello once again, sir, and welcome.
Good evening, Fonzie. Quite a pleasure. Glad for the.
So 100 days in office, you gave yourself a pass mark, but the opposition grade una say una fail. What are you for listen to?
First, let's set the context, Fonzie. The concept of 100 days, it is all over the world, but the more applicable now. Other democracies, they will get enduring institutions. We get structured systems then with time tested and proven. You get a situation where, for use the same lens, right, for examine the whole young kind situation, I think it's a little unfair. Here is what. You see, we take over a government, we inherit the worst economy in living memory. Apart from that one day, we take over a government, even after 100 days, you still have government ministers who no get motoka. You have quite a couple of deputy ministers who no get motoka. You have some people who could not even hand over properly. So in the talk a situation, then tools there that you need for go to work. Now there are other countries, right? Nothing the way they take for granted. You take over today, you have everything. You get motoka, you get office ready to go. We get offices that are looted. Right? You get homes that now government ministers can't even go to government quarters because they don't sell all things themselves. So we are saying the environment first not enabling. Somebody, my colleague, Madam Emuna to Pratt, they even proposed, now my own view, this is what I express. And they even proposed, first 100 days for the part of the transition arrangement. But even for the sake of argument, law assumes the first 100 days in a part of our still government minister, then they don't get motoka. Because the one away day before will not meet motoka.
Which one of what you highlight so? Are you trying to give excuses for not performing in 100 days?
We don't, Sierra Leoneans did not ask for excuses. They voted us in so that we were able to change the narrative, we will change the trajectory. I just set the context. That is the context we will take over government from. So first 100 days, you get minister, they will not still get motoka because of what to inherit, apart from the bad economy. First 100 days, Boku minister then, some now they appoint out of Freetown, we not get homes now, still can't get quarters or live in because they don't sell all. So the context now is so skewed, not to the other thing the way they take for granted. The institutions are weak, the people that will take over from, get their own other issues there. So first 100 days, we've been run on a solid platform as a government.
But again, even before you begin, tell me about your achievements in 100 days. Why are we having all of these talks of challenges inherited only now that you are in power? Not only first 10 this way, Sierra Leoneans, they begin for assess governments in Sierra Leone under similar circumstances, 100 days in office.
You have never had a worse takeoff for any government past this. Even from the NPRC, right? The economy will still better past this. I mean, it's empirical. The facts are all over the place to see. This is the worst economy in living memory. You know, it's unprecedented. Nobody don't take over from this kind of context. But the good news is, President Bio is a very determined person, a very focused person. And I think he don't assemble some of the best Sierra Leoneans in every walk of life or constitute a team for help or deliver.
So what have you achieved in 100 days?
So one of the things they would achieve as a government now for make sure so you get some of the finest blend of Sierra Leoneans in government. You know, before now, some man they go tell you being a government minister, right? They not get much for inspire any confidence in anybody, even with picking a user funds in IASO. So you don't for once get a team where they inspire trust, where they inspire confidence, where they motivate Sierra Leoneans.
So let's start to dissect that in the first place. So let me even start with the appointments for dissect them.
Yeah.
I will give you that your government has produced competent Sierra Leoneans in positions of trust.
Absolutely.
But again, still people get problems with them. People, they talk about southeastern appointments.
Why are they not talking about the northwestern appointments? In fact, when it comes to appointments, President Bio is colorblind. He's regional. He thinks Sierra Leone. He looks for the finest Sierra Leoneans, no matter whether they come out east, south, north. They look for the brightest and the best Sierra Leoneans will get the requisite competence and experience for help and for delivery.
By the end of the day, whether deliberately or by accident, because as you say, the president's know for no if you not Mende or Limba or
no, he doesn't care
before he appoints you. So maybe by accident, the president don't end up for constitute a government that is more southeastern.
Well, governments will always be skewed to some section or the other, but it is very reflective of the collective aspirations of Sierra Leoneans, very reflective of a geographical what have you. We'll get government ministers from every region of this country, virtually from every district. We'll get people that wouldn't appoint to positions of trust in this government.
But someone will be thinking for political prudence, if you're making appointments, you will begin to look at qualified and competent Sierra Leoneans from all regions.
That is what
it not appear as if the competent people are only coming more from a particular region.
No, but come on, if you want to can do a roll call here now. Right? You have people representing every nook and cranny of this country. You get people that will come on as far as every part of this country. So long not go and yourself. I mean, the case is there for all to
see. So tell us about your other achievements in 100 days.
So down at one, we don't give Salone some of the best Sierra Leoneans, even in terms of public service record, integrity, competence, performance. Again, the other bits, I want to start with the intangibles. We also don't bring a disciplined approach to leadership. Where President Bio being run for president, that's an opposition leader who platform us, he will ensure, provide effective and efficient management of the state and in resources. And one of the key things that we underline with government and operations now, disciplined leadership, professionalism, integrity. Then now don't bring them to public life. For the very first time, right, you hear say, President not travel to a delegation more than 8. Because, like I tell you, I said the context, we inherited the worst economy in living memory, and we really think, we will use Naname could appoint competent people in positions of trust. Not to every meeting you get for care playing load of people then go. In the past, we don't see delegations of 24, 50, right? President Bio, very, very fiscally prudent. Would they take with fiduciary responsibilities very, very serious, right? We think the money that we will save, we will go to providing social welfare.
All right, so before that's now being the Minister of Information and Communications under the SLPP government. Of course, that's now Mr. Mohamed Rado Soare. Of course, they talk on the achievements of the SLPP government within the 100 days where SLPP don't in power, and I feel say waiting in the talking and so we all know waiting this party don't do or waiting this government don't do this quick time where they don't kind of power. the intangibles, the tangibles, everything what they don't do. So there is no question about, trying to play doubt on which they don't do or which they don't achieve and which they don't achieve. There is no question. So nobody not able for question that one day, that side they may not able for understand why anybody go on for doubt that. I mean, let we accept, say, if we want to let this country go before, it start with, standing for and speaking the truth. When you talk true, you're not get for bend nothing just because you want let you party dinner power the next time. So now you get for go begin a bend things. No, you want for stand for the truth, right? So the SLPP inside this 100 days, me Naya Wesidona on behalf of Sherix Broadcast Network, I go give them a pass, an A in waiting they don't do so far, right? So that is very important for let anybody go do. You give them a pass. So the family we get for move on. Now, it go fine for let put everything into proper perspective, wherein, you get for know how government they tackle issues in the country. Now that make way every country supposed to get a population and housing census in the country, because that data where the population and housing census they gather, and that data the government they use for able for do things that for able for address the national issues in the country. So now I make the population and housing census or statistics Sierra Leone when they do one for winner Sierra Leone. When they do that work, they get for be very honest in doing it. They get for do using very important tools that we go able to get them the correct data, because that data whether they develop that data they so critical, it's so important that now they determine whether the country they go behind or they go before, right? And so in 2015, Statistics Sierra Leone began for conduct their population and housing census in the country, and it come out with the data. I mean, even though plenty of will be the question, the qualification of the one that will be the head Statistics Sierra Leone at that time, because some man be get degrees in completely different areas there, but then they head Statistics Sierra Leone, where various departments them, where be called for, and even the office system, like the regional offices, the district offices, the one that they had was based on party line. Now the APC people them, right? We don't do the analysis way back in 2015. But anyway, so that number will come out is so critical that the government is supposed to know, the government supposed to know how they use that data they for able for determine how then they solve the country problems. So now that's we get for Cambridge Canton now. Stick around.
Statistics Sierra Leone has conducted a national population and housing census in December 2015 with the support of UNFPA, DFID, Irish Aid, and UNDP. This fifth census was conducted with internationally recognized standards and procedures. The population of Sierra Leone currently stands at 7,092,113 people, with 3,490,978 male and 3,601,135 female. The growth rate of 3.2% reflect the demographic profile of a young population where 40.9% are less than 15 years and 3.5% are 65 years and above. The 2015 census reveals that 4,187,016 people live in rural areas, 59%, and 2,905,097 people live in the urban areas, 41%. The northern region is the most populous district with 35.4%. Eastern region represents 23.2%, while the western area, 21.1%, and the southern region, 20.3%. Regarding education, out of the population aged 10 years and above, 51.4% are literate in any language, 59.4% of this total are men, and 43.9% are female. If we take a look on health sector, results show that the total fertility rate is 5.2 compared to 6.1 in 2004. 76.4% of deliveries were made in health facilities, and 65.7% of all children 0 to 4 years have birth certificate. Results on the housing conditions reveals that pipe-borne is the main source of drinking water, 36.3%. Battery/rechargeable lights are the main source of lighting, 76.4%. Wood is the main source of energy for cooking, 64.7%. And pit latrines are used as main toilet facilities, 73.8%. On the economy side, the total employment rate is 91.4%. It is higher in the eastern region with 91.4% and lower in the western area with 84.7%. The 2015 census also reveals that 83.9% of the population is self-employed. Government is contributing for about 6.2% of employment. If we divide the employment of population based on industry, then we see that 732,461 households in Sierra Leone are engaged in agricultural activities. That is 57.9% of total households. Results on agricultural sector show that 1,297,686 hectares of land were cultivated in 2014-2015 agricultural season, which is 24.2% of the estimated land under cultivation in the country. A total of 871,693 metric tons for both cash crop and food crop were produced nationally for the 2014-2015 agricultural season. This data will be used for implementation, monitoring, and evaluation of national programs. Together, let's plan a better future for Sierra Leone.
All right, and so so that's statistics Sierra Leone and they report that one day. So when you take a look at that report, it gets so much details that we now then kind details than they where the government they look for, where they try for bring about development in our country. Now then details than they look for from the population and housing census report. So now I make then kind reports and they're supposed to be very, very honest and supposed to be very fair. Because now they determine whether the country they go before or they go behind. Right? So next, we'll get for take a look at Karmo Kaba and waiting happen with time. Stick around with us.
Thank you very much, my hero. Let's not forget, by the way, the IG Richard Moribe invited me yesterday in a police headquarters. You care to know why? Before I get to the nitty-gritty. Yeah.
Why?
Thank you. They say for good discuss state matters. That is by the emissary will call me. Now I say, but in which capacity? He say ask Mokaba. But that was a little bit unsettling. Now I say no, I Karamokaba cannot discuss state matters. Let me flag it through my NSG because I am an executive of the All People's Congress. So he asked me, say Mago, could you believe that the IG tell me say then they can follow me activities? It is subversive and tantamount to treason. I was shocked.
He been tell you waiting at the activity then?
Well, he not tell me the activities because he read to me a whole lot of text where have no pertaining to me. He say na intelligence, but I tell him say the intelligence is very little true, protected by a bodyguard of lies. Because me a law-abiding person, and what I feel, the intimidation is a new tactics now, because they want to draw attention. Because I was really shocked. I tried to control my emotion, because I know I make you feel fulfilled, that you don't stress me, you don't tension me, or you don't intimidate me. But I tell and say yes, I hold the meeting na Makeni, na my party office, which I have right to. Yes, I sensitize on the GTT. Yes. I sensitize on the 100 days, but subversion and tantamount to treason,
Maybe in some of the statements that we make during the meeting the day.
My statements were clean. All you need for do now for play the record. I tell and say I get the full recording if you want listen to them. But you get that intelligence from people ill motivated by politics for prove to the IG that I can be called. You know, they try not for call me a CID, but they call me on a meeting where they expect to be a state security meeting, but I was alone among the IG and all of the big bongs of the police force, and that was not a state security meeting. That was just another new tool in retropalaging from inviting people from the CID. Now that they call me by the IG for go give we instill doses of intimidation into us, so that we would be muzzled.
So, Mr. Kaba, since then, nothing no happen with yet, and just invite you for go talk about issues we get for the state security. Let's focus on the assessment.
Yes, no problem. But something happened with me. This is psychological disturbance. Now I'm moving around thinking that I can be nabbed for treason. You know, the capital punishment is still in our laws. I could be killed. So something happened to me.
Look at the assessment.
So now, in terms of the assessment, when we look at President Julius Maada Bio in 100 days in governance, we look at development, we don't see Nati there. Of course, we not expect for see Nati in the area of development.
Development are brought down.
Yeah, development are brought down.
So which one specifically?
Well, overall, because we know say there are some steps, baby steps in the area of education. I will come to that. But when you look at it broadly, now if we get in the area of development areas, because we have a scorecard. This is a 28-page volume, 28-page volume.
But I want to mark on a scorecard. What's not the mechanism?
Well, the mechanism, I'll come to that, but let me give you an overview of
go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
So in development areas, we were not expecting anything, and we have nothing. But that is fine, because that is with the voters to decide in the next 5 years. But when we look at constitutionality, we look at the rule of law, we look at the legislative area, we look at human rights violations. Not even the junta government being given such outrageous spate of human rights abuses, psychological and emotional assault on the dignity of
All right. So, me family that now, Mr. Karamo Kaba, former resident minister, Eastern Province. Now, in the talking about some request way police make to them about certain information way beyond the pass now the country way get security concerns. Of course, for like Karamo Kaba with the doubt waiting make it get then kind, cautioning from the police. It could be a baffling thing to us because Karamo Kaba, a man way in name be very synonymous with violence. In fact, at some point, he began for drive in car violently inside crowd, wound some people in Akono. It don't go in Akono side. Some man are put in, in signboard in for supporters. Then put in signboard during the election time. It go pull out the church around there, intimidate the bobo them. Then now the Eastern Province has been doing that. So I think say it is still continue because you see one thing about them guided way serving the APC. Some of them are very still cocky. They are in denial. They don't want to accept for say there is a new government in place and that therefore stay quiet. So now that's it. But let's look at Karamo Kaba, in vehicle where it plow inside people then back during the election time now the country, right? Because now they talk all this talking about it is good for us to also take a close look at waiting at some of the actions the way they do. Stick around. Right? So when I see that exactly, then I come about, let we see him again. This is not a motorcar they plow into the people there. So can you imagine? So we don't know whether a wound people then for that crowd, whether a kill people then, but there was a lot of that kind of information will go on during the time when they be in power, right? That kind of information will go on a lot. So we don't know what the truth is, right, on that one. So for make it go continue for they do the same things the way that he was known for, it is easy for people then for associate time with violence again at the country, because people that feel say is still there in denial. So you see now the people that don't gang up against inside corner right there. So that's now the former resident minister inside corner, right? The former resident minister, and what he been capable of doing. So now that we just don't see. But anyway, the last but not the least thing we want for bring counter now today. Now, the disappointment of the people of Magboroka in Tonkolili district. We be see the government secondary school in Magboroka. Now, the government secondary school is where the former president attend, and the former minister of education under the APC government, they attend that school day. But then if you see how dilapidated the school is, the condition of that school is so bad off that you're not going to expect a president of a country attended a school like that and it's looking like that. So what do the people then say about that school in relation to the former president and the former minister of education, because they attended that school? What did they do for that school? You know, so let's see that.
The slogan, "This is our time," paid no dividend to the government secondary school for boys Magboroka. During the regime of Dr. Ernest Baikoma, who was also an old boy here, and Dr. Mikhail Ba, they did nothing to improve the standard of the school. For the past 10 years, if you can watch the buildings, the classrooms, in fact, we have double seating.
As you can see, there is nothing to write home about. The slogan here is that now we time this. But does that reflect to our young folks here? No. This district, especially boys' school, was once referred to Oxford of the North. You've seen it. As a result of that, the former president himself attended this school because it was once referred to as Oxford of the North.
Right now, if you go to a boys' school, if you then border, if picking they put a school in a border, you know you will see don't pass with commodity because if maybe them for if you form an order.
Initially, people were anticipating that this school is a school wherein the former president came and the Minister of Education. So that is why people are expecting much. And this should have been a force to reckon with. That is why we said we are expecting much.
Looking at what Tonkolili gets and the kind of individual them we Tonkolili produce, especially boys' school, we now being the most important minister, and of course the first gentleman. Then you look at the waiting we get now, you go see that the most deprived district in the country.
As Minister of Education, you own on, and this is the only government institution that you own on. You cannot improve it for over 10 years. So come on. So now what you go talk about? Now, over 10 years. No. You know, able to do nothing.
They started refurbishing at the 11th hour when almost the elections are at hand. They started it, and you cannot believe that they whitewashed the building without even placing the doors, the windows, and even the adboards. So just to camouflage the people, any individual that comes, you will see the whitewash that, okay, they are more or less repairing this school.
Now we learn for the put the record straight. Now we not allow for the keep thief man them. Now we various institutions will guest. No, they admit a thief, man, because you know go can they, post don't go thief, I can give 25,000 if you get a for her. Na me brother and they. At least if that day happen, now we don't want the finger pocket and sit them back get right.
If we continue for left all this, any government can just rule a country like anyhow you feel, he left hand at the end of the day, you know if you get account. That is mess up. And if we not get side for start, the country don't go before. And one of the issues that where they make development not go before is corruption.
They pay revenue. Like we saw, they pay tax, they pay revenue. Now we money there. So if you then tip government, not to government, so now we money there na government. So now we not the government. Let them give we back what we inherit. Let them give we back our money there.
Let us face the reality. If somebody has committed a crime, even his SLPP, he should be punished. Even his APC, he should be punished. So let us face the reality so that people will see and copy the good example, not the bad example of other people. If they are left, then for sure that people are going to copy the bad example. They make an example that, okay, when these people did this, nothing happened with them, so I will also do this. So I think they should be punished. Let us forget about politics. This is Sierra Leone. All of us are Sierra Leoneans. Let us do things to benefit the Sierra Leoneans and not selfish ends.
Yes, my family, of course, that is, you know, a very, very disheartening story from Mabroka. Of course, that's Mabroka Government Boys Secondary School, you know, where the former president attended that secondary school and the former Minister of Education attended that school. Well, you know, these are some of the things that we want to talk about. You know, APC as a government not ever prioritize education. They don't know what's in the importance of education. I mean, even if they know, but they just do not care because they don't know. They not try for grasp that concept. For say, when you invest in the children of a country, you are investing in the country itself. You are setting the foundation for prosperity, for development, for happen in the country. And so it is so deplorable for them to see something like this where they come out from the people of Tonkolili, and especially Mabroka Government Secondary School. You know, people there where be saying that the school this way the former president attend. Now the school this way the former Minister of Education attend. They're not able to do nothing for this government school. And this is a government school for that matter. So all the beginning where they in that area they where they've been supposed for benefit from the teachings not from the school, they're not able for benefit from them. You know, I mean, look how bushy that place is, look how messy that place is. I mean, as a whole government secondary school. So these are some of the things that I want to talk about. So even the young people them, people that way they see them as we own people them. Where they say this we own, now we own. Right? Then safe now they say, may them pay back waiting the thief in the country. May them pay back. This is coming from the people. This is not coming from us, it's coming from the people. Right? And so my family, this is disheartening. But anyway, now so we'll get for end we broadcast today because you know, I'll get for Kango another meeting. But with the end we broadcast with this today, we decided to talk on this 100 days again today because at the same for saying a complete disservice to the people of Sierra Leone because now they vote for this government where they in place and from where this government don't come. Even though we not don't begin to see things then the way people they want for let things they happen. And you know, this is where Sierra Leoneans, this is where we always make mistake, we always blunder big time. Because we not get one patient. We not get patience. Because this kind of way where the SLPP inherit government from the APC. Which miracle way if you say SLPP government go able for perform inside this 100 days for make sure say all man don't live happily. It get for take some time for let that one day happen. So now I've been glad the way the president paid that courtesy call on the party office in Freetown and tell the party members them for say before it's sweet, it get for sour force. So the sourness now they go on right now, but it get for sweet. So now last week we tell when I say all you get for do is pray for two things. Pray for well body and long life. Then two things that now you need because if you get well body and long life, you go see waiting the SLPP get for unfold for the country when are good things them. All right, and so we just want for let people know that, but there is no evidence where they substantiate for say the kind way where the APC, I mean SLPP, be hand over government to the APC in 2007, and how the APC hand over government to SLPP in 2018. You cannot compare the two. And we'll be not to tell one of this for say these two political parties, in as much as then are the two dominant political parties in the country, but then they do things in two opposite directions. All right, then they do things in two opposite directions. Waiting SLPP they do completely different from waiting APC they do. When APC they in power in that country, and you know say this is not true because I then talk here we can talk to people that not elect some people that really support APC. Look, we go back to history. This is not to really talk a day in the history, a day in the archives. From 1968, where APC take over government in Sierra Leone, all the way to 1992, where they pull and come out, where the military pull and come out. Just look at what APC been do during that time and they, you know, I be the watch way, then they ask question to the ambassador to Nigeria, Dr. Solomon Gembe, you know, waiting make it be left in job and go abroad. We're not to in one. Plenty people that be they left Sierra Leone, they go abroad because Sierra Leone be done, they go down the drain. So people we are looking everywhere around the world for greener pastures. Now people that they feel comfortable say, let's go back in our country. Just like how Ghanaians then they go back in their country. Now people that they feel comfortable for go back in their country. So the government where they in position of authority now get for create the atmosphere, the enabling environment for let people that feel for stay in their country and for go back in their country. There was a time where a Sierra Leonean they go outside of Sierra Leone, it just to go study abroad and go back in their country because everything be good. With money in value be even past the pound sterling and the dollar. Then they you know, they train the way they bring produce from upline, they bring kind of town. Education, it be the flourish, you know, because now being the Athens of West Africa, healthcare be the flourish, food be in the country. So nobody no get time for go stay outside of Sierra Leone. You go back in your country, now they go stay, right? So it's fine for Sierra Leoneans, let they look at the country from that telescopic angle. You know, let we give time to this government for me doing work so that at the end of the day, we all go see a light at the end of the tunnel. All right. So once more, I'm Ibrahim Sharif, and of course, I come to you today from studio number 8, based in Houston, Texas. And of course, this now we straight talk and honest talk with the talk now. So I want for tell now plenty. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Say about us, baby girl, you know, said I will never make you cry nowhere. Sugar pie, you see, the way we going on, never strive, never pain, never suffering. Sugar pie, you see, how I'm loving you, baby girl. I know we'll be together eternity, never gonna worry about no one, no way, no one, no way. One time, I like your vibe. 2 times, I love your vibe. 3 times, I'm falling for you again. 1 time, I like your vibe. 2 times, I love your vibe. 3 times, I'm falling for you again. People loving on, girl, and love each other. Never look back, never worry, girl. Just keep on loving on and on and on and on. So I need your loving every day, baby girl, you know. Said I want to be with you every time, sugar pie, you see. Never worry about what they say. Never worry about what people say. 1 time, I like your vibe. 2 times, I love your vibe. 3 times, I'm falling for you again. 1 time, I like your vibe. 2 times, I love your vibe. 3 times, I'm falling for you again.
you day in line, oh, and I know I miss you, oh. The love we share together can always bring up in my dear. I've already told you, to nobody no go take your place. I made for you, you and only you, just you. Oh, nobody no go ever take your place. Nobody no go ever take your place. Linda, oh, Linda, today, Linda, I saw we go, Linda, oh, Linda, today, Linda, I saw we go, I don't make her tickle low, but you are the one like a bilolo. I dey fall in love, but you know no baby. Now you love them, make her tickle low, but you are the one like a bilolo. But it's not a sleep, I dey tickle low for you. Now you want to make her the catch fever like play. All me body rise, I dey feel the shiver like play. Now you want, now you want, now you want, now you want, now you want. Now you want, now you want, now you want, now you want, baby. Nobody else, nobody no go ever take your place. Nobody no go ever take your place. Linda, oh, Linda, today, Linda, I saw we dey go, Linda, oh, Linda, today, Linda, I saw we dey go, not to lie, not you, oh boy. Day and now, not you, oh boy. Being double, not you, oh boy. Not to lie, not you, oh boy. I saw we dey go, nobody no go ever take your place.
Come back home to Sierra Leone,
Come back home. 17, she left Mama Africa with a dream she can make it in America. Be a star on the screen like Angelina Jolie. Wanna pose for the camera, but she was used and abused. Couldn't get the call, cold and confused. Every day more bad news. Yeah, baby caught the Hollywood blues.
Come back home, yo. Come back to Mama Africa.
A young man from the coast of West Africa had a plan in his head, he would make it far. Made his way to the UK, but slept on the streets and hate by the railway. Then on a cool rainy night, he got caught by the cops. They said, son, you got the right to be in this land that you're in. Oh God, they deported him.
Come back home, yo.
It's time to come back home.
Back home to Mama Africa.
Come back home.
Where the sun is always shining. Oh Africa, I love you for real.
Come back home.
Come back home, back home.
Come back home. Yeah. I said I want you to come back home. Come back home. Said I want you to come back home. Said I want you to come Come back home to Mama Africa, land that's so spectacular. Sunshine, our beaches are the loveliest. Oh God, I know we're so blessed. Too late to turn back now. We gonna rise somehow. We gonna fly so high and grab a star from the sky. Say it's time to come back home. Say it's time to come back home. Come back home, come back home, come back home. Come back home. Come back home to my Africa, where the sun is always shining. Where you don't have to worry about the sun. Said I love you, Africa. Mama Africa, I love you. Come back home, come back home, come back home. Said I want you to come back home, Mama Africa. Said I want you to come back home. Come back home to Mama Africa.